Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good day. Today I'm going to talk about the 3 things that I told my son that I think really helped him put into focus his life. The first one is the world doesn't care. The world is ambivalent to your existence. The only person that cares about you outside of your family is you. You need to take ownership of your life, think about your life day to day, and where you want to be a year, 6 months, 5 years from now. The longer that you can put the time frame out of where you want your life to be, the easier it will be to make the sacrifices that you need to make to achieve the goals that you want. It's taken him time to learn this. I mean, he's 22, but actually I got a text today and he just told me that he was giving up video games because it's not helping him achieve his goals. And I felt like that was very, it warmed my heart to think that you tell somebody something and you're not sure if they understand, and then finally they get it and you're incredibly happy when they do. The second thing that I told him was yesterday was the best time to start something. We tend to procrastinate a lot in life. I mean, I know I have. I mean, I'm not perfect. But if you think about anything that you're going to try to do, there is going to be a learning curve, and you're going to have to take the time to learn skill sets, to get over the parts that suck, and but the sooner that you get over the crappy part, the sooner you'll get to the fun stuff or the place that you want to be. And the only time I learned this, like literally I didn't learn this until my 30s, when I started wanting to do art and sculpting and different kind of creative projects. There was just a long time, and it felt like, and I'll show some of my early work at some point in time, but I remember being like, God, I am stupid. I am the stupidest person. I suck at everything I do. Everything I touch is, instead of turning to gold, it just turns to a big pile of crap. But I realized over time, things became easier. There was muscle memory, and just I didn't have to think about things. And in fact, YouTube is a great example of this. I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel for years, but I was too nervous or this, that, and the other, making excuses, which they're just not real. And ultimately I decided, I was like, you know what? I've made a bunch of videos. I'm just going to start posting them, and I'm going to see what happens. And I'll get better at talking to the camera. I'll get better at being comfortable in front of the camera. And eventually it will be my normal. And so I can just wake up and make a video. And it's like easy, or less painful than it was. In fact, before I shot this, I'm pacing back and forth through my house, being like, oh, I don't know, blah, 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 making excuses, which all I needed to do was sit down and do this. And now I feel better. And then the last thing I told my son, and this I thought was very important, and I feel like this is something that we need to, just as people in the world that we live in now, is we need to make time to take time to enjoy the things in life that we enjoy. Like, spend time with people. Go watch artistic endeavors. Do things that build some sense of community, and not in a divisive way, but in a way that's positive and reinforces your life. Because that's the cure to a lot of the problems that we have, is going back to some of the things that used to make being person in this country, it was decent. Like, you could expect somebody to be polite to you. You could expect somebody to help you out if you need a hand, like your car breaks down. You'd expect somebody to come back, hey man, you need help with that? That used to be normal, and that is not the case anymore. But we need to get back to thinking about people in that context. We're not just little digital units on the internet, and that isn't your existence. Like, the real world's out there. We got a nice Midwest gray going on today, but that's the way that we're going to address a lot of these issues. But my son texted me one day and he was like, I fed a squirrel, and it was like really nice. But I was like, yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to take time to do something fun, like just something silly, and really enjoy that you're here for a very finite amount of time relative to everything else, and that it's incredibly valuable that you try to make your life a life's work. Because the more that you do that, the happier you will be, and the more you're focused on the distracting things that aren't really important. Like, this is another thing. Literally, my son texted me the other day about the video games. He was like, yeah, they're just taking away from the time that I need to be doing other things. I said, yeah. And I go, think about how much happier you are Like he's in the middle of his senior year. He's grinding out like term paper after term paper and doing a lot of research. But I was like, think about just when you're doing the paper, even though it's crappy work and it's just grinding, how much happier are you when you're engaged in the work versus if you're just sitting there playing Xbox, you know, thinking about how shitty the world is. It's like you're much more happy. And so I feel like that is something that those three things are examples of how I'm glad that he took them to heart. I'm glad that he is investing, and I hope that you can at least take some of this and improve your life moving forward, because living a life with some kind of purpose and meaning is much more important than living a life where you're sad all the time, you hate life, you know, like who wants to live like that, and why would you live like that if you don't have to? Like you really don't. You know, yes, life is hard. You know, nothing is going to be easy, but like everything that you ever achieve in life didn't just like fall into your lap. You struggled for something, right? If you lifted weights, it took a long time for those muscles to build. You know, if you wanted to learn how to play an instrument, it took time to do that. Like anything in your life that you've ever done comes down to you're going to have to struggle and you're going to have to suffer a little bit, but eventually the suffering will pay the dividends that you really want. And so hope this was helpful, and try to do something good today and try to make the world better.